why is it that the growth, the development of Ghana is still behind since we got independence in 1957? If you look at the likes of Singapore and Malaysia, they are growing faster, 150% speed, right? And you had mentioned that one of the factors that is bringing us or, not helping us to grow is because of tribal stereotype. Why did you say that?
I think, this is a public knowledge. We all know it. Since independence, every vote that, people give depends on, is being influenced by the tribe that they come from. Like if I am an Ashanti man and maybe it's a political year where we are going to the polls to vote for our leaders, I don't look at the competence of the person that really want to, lead us, but I only look at where does he come from? What is his name? Which family, which town? People even go to the extent of asking where his mother is from, where his dad is from, just to know how close that person is to his tribe. And because of that, I think our development has really stifled, and we've not been able to make any meaningful progress. So I think tribalism is the main reason why Africa is where it is right now. And I think as people, when we look beyond it, we should be able to, see a lot of progress in our lives, because we will start voting for people not based on the language that they speak, where they come from and the name, but we're going to vote for them based on the competence and the merits, that they bring to the table.
Okay, so then I'm guessing because of colonialism, right? If we take ourselves back into the separation, okay, and even beyond colonialism, when, Asantis were fighting a certain tribe, like let's say the Achims, the Seri people.
But when you say colonialism, what do you mean?
No, I'm taking you all the way beyond, even beyond colonialism, before we come back to colonialism. I think that's where it stems from, where Ghana people are fighting Fantis. Fantis are fighting the Asantis, Dagbonga, or the Mamprusi.
The Mamprusis and the
Kusasis. And it has grown into now and being a staple within our political space. Don't you think that also played a role in the mindset?
Of course. I think there's been a lot of tribal, misunderstanding. It's been long before even Ghana became Ghana. And sometimes when people blame it on colonialism, I get a little bit confused, because I think before the colonial masters came to Africa, we used to have villages and families and clans, and people were not messing with a lot of, different people because they think they are not part of them, and it was all about protection. Just maybe as an example, let me give you an example. Maybe you moved to Woodbridge. You were the first to move to Woodbridge with your family. So you create a settlement for you and your family. And maybe I'm also coming with my family. There is chances of you fighting me and saying, hey, this is mine, so you cannot come in. So I guess the division that we have in Africa, we can't only blame the colonial masters. It started long before they even got here, because we were speaking different languages, we have different cultures, and people were just looking for place depending on how good the land is. Is it good for farming? Is the weather good for us? Is it good for the crops? So those are some of the motivating factors that made us divided. And people coming from a place, maybe I came from a desert, and finally I was able to find a place where, I can grow crops, and, my family can feed on, and I can even sell some for money. And someone tried to come in, it's definitely going to be a fight. So I think that has been the backbone of we we being divided and fighting among ourselves since we even gained independence. So of course, it has really done a great disservice to all of us as Africans, because now we only see people through how close they are. They are related to our clan or tribe, and because of that, we don't want to see competence over anything apart from my ethnic group, someone who is from my village or my town. And I think until Africa we are able to look beyond that, I think we will never see any progress.
Yeah. And we do even see that in the inter-ethnic marriages, right? Where you have an Asante and an Ewe, trying to, marry, or you have an Igbo, Yoruba, and so on, where you hear stories, you should not, if you are an Asante man or woman, you should not marry someone who's an Ewe, or who's Kusasi, or who's Frafra, and so on. Why is that?
I think it has to do with the way we were brought up, and surprisingly, in Ghana, sometimes we only think maybe the majority tribes are the people that needs to be blamed for this whole tribalism and ethnocentric problem that we have in the country. But it will surprise you that people of minor tribes also do it. I have a friend from a minor tribe. Mm-hmm. He told me one time that he will never let his children marry anybody from a tribe. He mentioned specifically that tribe, and that tribe is a major tribe in Ghana.
Right.
So I was very surprised. Like, why are you thinking like that? And he said he would never, because he's had a very bad experience with people of that tribe that he's trying to prevent his children from marrying into. And it is just like that. Once I have a problem with an Ewe man, I think every Ewe is bad. When it is not like that, and once I have a problem or maybe an issue with an Ashanti man, then I think every Ashanti is bad. So until we start, looking at people from individualistic, point of view, we're going to continue making this mistake of I won't marry this person because he's from this tribe. I'm not going to date him because he's not part of our ethnic group. So once we are able to see people as human beings and we are individuals, and no matter my tribe or the town that I come from or the name that I bear, just give people a chance to prove themselves before you can make a judgment by saying, maybe he's a good or bad person.
All right. Okay. Let's look at this from this point, right? I want us to go all the way back again to the power leadership, right? Mm-hmm. Do political parties benefit from tribal sentiments?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that is what a lot of people are saying, that our political leaders do benefit from the way Ghana is divided. And you see, in Ghana right now, we have the politics of the North and the South. If you are a president, your vice will have to come from, you are president and you're from the North. Your vice will have to come from the South. And if you are a president from the South, your vice must come from the North. And that party politics of this kind, I think, is not good for the country, because we should give people the chance, even if we have two Northerners who can lead us and do the job, move us from where we are to a better place. We should give them a chance. If we have two Southerners who can do the job, we should give them the chance. But the politics of if you don't represent the North and the South on the ticket, or like on the flag bearership, a position of your party, then you don't serve the interest of Ghana, and you go into election losing. So I think, yes, the politicians has really benefited from the division that we have in Ghana, the different tribes that we have in Ghana. So until we get to a place whereby we judge people by their competencies and what they can do for the country, I think we will never see the progress we are all looking for.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because, I've always known this, that there's always, like, on the ballot, if you're not from, or if you are the flag bearer from the north, you need to at least pick someone from the south.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a flag bearer from the south, you need to pick someone from the north. And it's crazy to me because sometimes you have individuals who are also from the south. So a flag bearer from the south, a vice from the south who is also competent enough,
yes,
to be a vice president. But then because of tribalistic behavior stereotype, you have to pick someone from the north who's not competent for that particular position. Okay. All right, let's look at this.
And guess what? Do you know who started that? It was President Kufuor. Yeah, Kufuor started it. I mean, if you look at the Ghanaian political terrain, and you realize that Rawlings, he was from the south. He's from Anlo or Everland. I don't know the difference between but he was from the Volta region.
Yeah.
And his vice, Akar, was from the central region, which was okay. So Kufuor was the one that started this whole north and south politics, and he was able to, get people to buy into it. And since then, the politics of Ghana has never been the same. And I don't blame him. I think when he was coming to power, he was so
I think that was a strategy.
It was a strategy. Thank you. That's the better word. He was trying to find a better strategy. So
right.
he, because it was a very daunting task. Coming into election.
Yeah.
With like Rawlings, who was then the most popular person in Ghana. And Kufuor coming from the, So he needed to devise all the strategies that he think he can use to gain power. So he did that. And since then, it has really stayed with Ghanaians, and we don't want to get over it. It's like if President Mahama is from the north, then definitely he needs to choose a vice from the south. And it's killing the Ghanaian politics. So now if, say, President Mahama is done with his presidency, and there's another person who is capable of leading us from, let's say, the NDC side, they're not going to vote for him. Most likely, we wish he's going to change, but they probably won't vote for him. They will say, we want someone. I don't know if you've heard a lot about the kind of politics they are doing right now.
Right.
They are trying to pick someone from, the south. The names that are going around, they are all names from the south. And those from the north are also lobbying for the vice presidential.
Right.
So it is kind of bad, for Ghanaians as people, because if I think that Mahama and his people, like the Northerners, can do the job, we should give them the chance. If we think the Votarians can do the job and there are two Votarians, we should give them the chance. Instead of playing this game of North and South, even if you are incompetent, the people would still choose you to be a vice because it's a politics of numbers, which we perfectly understand. Instead of going in for someone who is from probably two people from the same tribe who can do the job for us.
Okay. Well, then it plays a role in also hiring, promotions, and also business opportunities.
Of course. I mean, especially in Africa. I mean, here in the United States, we all know we have systems. So even before you get selected, probably AI will have to go through your resume or, your CV before you get picked, So you really don't see it here that much. Although we have systematic racism, whereby maybe when you get to the interview, they will say, they will tell you you are not a better fit for the job. No, but you really, you are really a better candidate for the job, but they will just decline you because maybe the skin color or whatever. But that is very on the low side, But when you go to Africa, it's like once I see your name, I know your name is this and that, then I assume that you are from here. I don't want this person in this office. So you get denied of a job opportunity. Like me, I have brothers who have names from the Ghanaland. When you see the name on paper, you might think, yes, they are from the from Accra. Yeah. But when you meet them, they don't even speak one word of a Ghana language. Anyway, I know we have Ghans who do have names from the Akan land too. And if you don't meet them, you probably might think they are Akans, but they are not. So I think we should just go beyond just seeing names and seeing language. So we have people, I even have a brother who is an Ashanti, but he doesn't even speak any Ashanti word. You know, he whenever we hear him speak, you might think he's from Volta, because his dad is a Voltarian and his mom is an Ashanti. You know, and his mom died. So his dad family came from him, you know, and he went to Togo. He stayed in Togo for some time. He came back, and now he can't even remember one sentence in Twi. Or even if he tried to speak it, you could tell by the accent that he's not an Ashanti, but he has his mom as an Ashanti and his dad as an Ewe. And so when you see someone like that and you just want to judge him because you think he's not of your tribe, you know, you're making a big mistake. And it's the same way with people who speak flawless Twi. So someone sitting somewhere will just, you know, cancel them because they think, oh, he's an Ashanti man. I don't like Ashantis. But, you know, when you get closer, you realize that he probably may be from the Volta region or the north. You know, so I think that this politics of I am from here, you are not. I mean, I don't know. Do you get paid for being of a certain tribe? I mean, if you know of a tribe that get paid every month for just being that tribe, just let me know. We don't have any, we all have to hustle. You know, we have to wake up in the morning, go to work, pay our bills. We get sick, we go to the hospital just like any other place. So we're from this, I'm from here, you are from there. So, you know, we can't, you know, we can't live together, you know. So I think there's a lot we as African, we have to learn. Yes, we do have a lot of people being denied jobs because of their tribe, especially as even when any political party that comes to power, we have certain tribes that get recruited in the security service. You know, let's say an Ashanti or maybe a Akan leader will come to power. You realize that most of the security services being employed, who are being recruited, are from the Akan tribe. You see, when anytime there's another tribe president becomes sent to the leadership, you just realize that there's a lot of that kind of tribe people also being recruited in that security service, and it's very bad for our country.
It goes with the same as the regional ministers also. If you are not Akan or Ashanti, you're not going to be represented the Ashanti region. If you're not Voltarian, you're not going to represent the Voltarian or be the Volta minister, right? And so I think it's something that we need to look into, where if we are looking to build and develop the nation, we need to do away with that kind of like mindset, you know, to bring in competent people. You know, if you are a northerner and you can develop you can be the mayor of Kumasi, why not?
Yes, and that is a good point, because you see, Kumasi and Accra is a cosmopolitan. Accra is cosmopolitan. Kumasi is metro. I don't know whether now Kumasi has really moved from being metro to Cosmo. You know, in the Cosmo, we have different tribes. You have the Kusasis, the Gunjas, the Frafres. I mean, someone like me, I was born in a Zulu community, you know, and growing up, no, you can't tell the difference between me and my fellow, you know, Frafres and the Gunjas that I live with, you know, I grew up with. You know, I went to school with them, you know, we spoke the same language, you know, but so when you say an Ashanti minister, a regional minister in Ashanti region should be an Ashanti man. I mean, it's up to some extent, you know, like, then that's the game of the game of numbers that comes with politics that we've already discussed. They think the majority of the people living in Ashanti region, they are Ashantis, you know, although we have minority tribes in there, you know, the Gunjas, the Kusasi, the Mampusis, the Dagumbes, the Gans, you know, the Evers, all of them. But we think the majority of the residents that live in the region, they are the Ashanti descent. So they want to go in for somebody that will represent the majority tribe in the region. So I guess I support your point. If we have a Kusasi man in Ashanti region who can develop Ashanti, because someone is Kusasi, but he was born in Ashanti land.
Right.
And someone is an Ashanti who was born in the northern, he lived all his life in the northern region. I have friends who were in Ashanti, they were born in the western region, they speak flawless Fantis, and you might think they are Fantis, but they are not. So I think, yes, people should be given the chance, so long as they can do the job, instead of just looking at them from the angle of you are from here, you are not, and, so we are not giving you the job.
Okay. All right. Now, let me bring you back to the diaspora, right? When we look at Africans in the diaspora, it looks like we care less about tribalism, right? Mm-hmm. Because, we do things together, functions, events. We don't care about interethnic,
exactly. But as soon as we go home, then it starts. Can you imagine? I mean, and sometimes it's just funny how we come in here and all of us, we seem to have issues with racism. You see, let's say, an every man complaining about someone who is white not being nice to him because of the skin of his color. But as soon as we go home, I will see a Ghana man and be like, man, you are not one of us. We discriminate among ourselves back home. But once we cross the ocean, to seek better life in countries like this, like the US, Australia, UK, and all those places, we seem to come together, to form a unit so we can really fight whatever problems that comes with being an immigrant. So yes, we are better off as people living in diaspora as one people than when we go back home. And I think if we can look it from the angle of the way you are being treated by a white person or like someone who is like a Caucasian, treating you less because he feels you are not part of them or you have a different skin color, and how you feel is the same way people from different tribes also feel when you go back home and you talk down on them. So I think if we are able to be very conscious of that, we will be able to change a lot of those.
Okay. Yeah, it's you had a point, because if we are able to bring this same behavior that we are practicing in the diaspora to Africa, we will essentially develop Africa within a blink of an eye.
Exactly.
By not recognizing this is the tribe I'm from, you are from this tribe, don't come near me, I don't mess with you. And so, I believe that we in the diaspora also play a big role in the development of Africa, right? And like when you watch Wedemaya's discoveries, videos on YouTube, you can tell a lot of people that migrated from the diaspora back to the motherland, they have really impacted the country, right? Or the continent. And so, this will be something that we in the diaspora have to take on and, make it happen. Okay. The last question that I have for you is, post-tribal Ghana look like? How do you think post-tribal Ghana would look like?
Oh, that's wow. Okay. So I think we look beyond our tribes, we will be able to develop our nation, of course, and it sounds more like cliche, of course, we all know it. But I think we need to take steps in dealing with these tribal issues that we have in Ghana. And these are my recommendations. I think the traditional leaders do have a big role when it comes to reshaping how Ghanaians think and how we relate with one another. It's maybe we can have like a day set aside in Ghana where we can have, let's say, an Ashanti king, the Tunfo. We say, I have this day, and then this day is just dedicated for like Ashantis to be nice to people of different tribes, So this day we are going to say, maybe Alaba, don't be nice to people from your own tribe. Maybe buy gifts and give it to someone who is a Gan, and the Gan king, Nita also say, we are dedicating a day where we are trying to be nice to people who are also in Accra, who are not from the Ghana, so just also buy something and, for them, just to show love. Or we can have like intercultural kind of exchange, the day where maybe I will wear fugu and Kusasi man will wear kente, or wear the kente cloth, and we can have the Gambi wear the wolome. Yeah. So I think if our traditional leaders are able to, have a consistent, cross-cultural kind of event and the day set aside to help to conscientize the Ghanaian people that life is not only about your tribe, man, because you might get stuck on the road and you need help. And if I am an Ashanti, then you are an Ewe, but maybe the Ewe man is the one that needs help. I might be the only one who can save you. And the same way, vice versa. If I will need help, and will be an Ewe man who can also help me. So we should just go beyond just the name and the language and where we're from, and make sure that we are just people. We are all trying to have a livelihood. We are trying to survive in this world. So I guess our leaders should take the mandate upon themselves to make sure that we have a country whereby, people will not be judged by their names and the towns that we come from. Look at Rwanda. Now Rwanda is doing extremely well. When you go to Rwanda, they don't talk about Tutsi or Hutu anymore. You won't go on the street of Rwanda and ask people, where are you from? You are not allowed to even say, I'm a Hutu or I'm a Tutsi. You just say, I'm Rwandan. And I think that's where we have to get to as Ghanaians and as Africans. We should get to a place whereby we can just say, I am African, by not saying I am this or that. I mean, we can maybe, just for cultural beauty, we can just say I am a Fanti, I am a Kriapema, just to, to display the beauty of diversity, but not to divide and look down on others. And I think Rwandans has done it. So back to your question of how tribalism will look like in Ghana or in Africa, I think Rwanda has already given us the blueprint. The blueprint. So once we all follow, we should be able to see a lot of development.
All right, man. This was deep. Obibini, thanks for coming on the podcast. We can't wait to bring you back on to discuss other topics.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.
I said, now what did me? I want to. Yeah, no.